Hey guys, I hope that you're having a wonderful day here today. We're going to be taking a look at Bisu going up against Leta. I was kind of excited to see this as a matchup that has been played recently. So, Bisu is in some of the best shape that we've seen him in basically since Remastered came out. Yeah, he's had a couple deep runs and everything, but you look at the previous ASL season 20, and he was razor close to beating Soma in the round of 4. Much better performance than any other Protoss player. I think that, there was definitely a world in which he became champion that season. And it didn't end up working out, but he's in really great shape. We've been talking a lot about Bisu for about, I don't know, not quite a year, but if you remember season 19 leading up to it, he became a little bit inactive in streaming and pro leagues, and I had casted a lot of his games where it was like Bisu's in great shape, and then he didn't have the greatest season, and then in season 20 he really did. So it takes a little bit for that practice really to pay off, but it's paying off very well for him. Now on the flip side here we have Leta, and Leta is just generally considered a Terran versus Zerg specialist. Terran versus Protoss has always been his weakest matchup by miles, but he was improving at it a lot a few years ago. I want to say 2-3 years ago, we saw Leta kind of go through a huge improvement cycle where he really kind of worked on his macro in Terran vs. Protoss and definitely became a lot stronger, but we haven't seen him around all that much. And I honestly can't remember the last Leta game that I casted. I'm sure I've cast him in the last year or so, but nothing is really coming to mind. So, yeah, I'm kind of excited to see how he's going to look here against Bisu, who we know is in great shape. If he can put up a decent game against Bisu, it's okay, maybe Leta's going to be someone that we need to watch out for in the coming year. So SCV pops into this main base. He saw the forward gateway, so he knows that there will be Zealots being made. And he was going for a gasless expansion already. So this is actually very good play from Leta so far. First off, he was going to go for just a gasless expansion, but if he just started the command center instead of the second depot and the bunker, he would actually be in a lot of trouble. Because everything else would be kind of late. He'd be maybe hitting a supply block, the bunker would be hard to get up, Zealots might be running by, that type of thing. So right now I want to see him actually utilize the 2 SCVs to block. I'm a little bit surprised that he didn't do exactly that, because it's really obvious that one Zealot will run by against 1 to 2 Marines. But we'll see how well he actually ends up dealing with this. So he's already lost 1 SCV, loses a second. He's actually dealt a lot of damage here. Don't forget, though, another Zealot is coming. Bisu pulling his Zealot away, and he's just trying to, kind of bring the Marines back and get whatever damage he can. Wow, gets the finish there with the probe. Really, really well done. So what have we had? A Marine, or was it 1 Marine or 2? I don't know why I'm not remembering this correctly, but also gets 2-3 SCVs, keeps that pressure on, but gets pushed out finally. Okay. The Zealot pressure is done. Dragoons are on the way. Range is on the way. I really like Bisu's position here. Having killed those SCVs, you can see he's taking the probe lead. And Leta will catch up because he will be making SCVs nonstop here. But his factory is going to be pretty darn late. And that's going to allow the range pressure to actually just cause a lot of lost mining time. So I'm very much... I'm very happy overall for Bisu and how this has worked out. And the thing is, it's not even that bad a position for Leta. Just to make it clear, Leta's SCV saw that the probe came down to make the Nexus, but hadn't made it yet, and his command center is basically finishing. So he knows he's going to catch back up on those workers, but he's going to be losing a lot of mining time. So this is the type of game where Bisu probably will just keep the pressure on. We'll see if he techs directly into Reaver. That seems like it would be the best play by far. And yeah, we'll see also, does Bisu try to take a fast third with that? Because there's no real counter pressure that can occur, in my opinion, if you go fast Reaver here. You absolutely do not need to get fast Observer. There's, you have range goons outside the base. Almost 100% of the time in a game like this, Terran has to go siege mode. So, We'll see about all that. All those, I think I've made a few too many predictions at this point. He kills that SCV that came out scouting. And the pressure begins. And there's no reason not to send your additional Dragoons. Whereas if you're playing against something like a factory expansion, it would make sense to leave some units at home. So going to keep this pressure on. The add-on just finished, and you can see that he starts siege mode before the siege tank. This is kind of an old trick. The siege mode takes longer than the tank. And if you think that they'll have 4 Dragoons out before your siege mode is done, it's better to just start the siege mode first. So yeah, Leta's going to have to play this very defensively. You can see going to have to get some missile turrets as well. And Bisu actually does go into fast observer here, which I guess it'll allow him to scout. But yeah, in my opinion, I actually would be a fan here of going into the Reaver quickly. Now, that being said, maybe what he wants to do, because Reaver is very mineral intensive, is instead Nexus into Reaver. That kind of makes sense when you think about it. And of course, there are a few other plays he could end up doing. Arbiters have become very popular lately. Arbiters are like what people are playing the most at the moment. Now, siege mode finishes up. He's getting his missile turret. So Leta actually looks really solid here, by the way. I do want to mention this because I've been kind of praising Bisu a lot. But overall, if you look at Leta's play, he scouted the forward gate. He went bunker and second depot before the command center. Yeah, he made the command center, and I was thinking he should just block with 2 SCVs to start. And I think that would have been slightly better. I think he would have lost less units overall, but okay, whatever. But overall, like, he's stabilized everything really well. He's playing very safely. He's making sure he does not die to anything. So this has been very high quality play from Leta. It's like, I think you can put down my analysis of the defense of the Zealot down to a preference rather than a law or a rule. Okay, so Bisu flies in and loses his first observer, unfortunately, but his third Nexus is going to be finishing up. The probes are going out now. He's got these Dragoons out in the front, kind of watching for anything trying to rotate by, and he is going to pull them back now. We are kind of hitting that time where, like, if Leta wanted to sneak out Speed Vultures, it would be, like, reasonable that they could be kind of ready for that. One thing to note is this is a dangerous pylon wall formation. You can actually glitch vultures through there pretty easily. So just want to point that out. You budding Protoss players, try to not make it your pylons look like that. The exactly diagonal, like, it is technically a wall there against vultures, but like, if you know how you can lay mines and sometimes displace vultures over pylon walls? It's really hard against straight lines, or if this is even down one. This is the easiest way to get it through. And I've heard there are ways to actually just glitch it through otherwise. Although I've tried them, and I haven't been able to make it work, and I haven't seen anyone ever do it. So I don't know if that's actually true. Okay, looking back at the game. Comsats are on the way. +1 is going. Couple more factories. Looks like Leta's going to go up to 5 factory here. He's on 48 SCVs. We'll see if he picks up SCV production after the comsats. That's going to tell us a lot. But he's got range on the way, so I think he's going to pick up SCV production. I don't think you're going to want to go into a 5 factory time here. Yeah, the SCVs do get produced once again. More gateways going down here for Bisu. This has been such a clean, nice game from both sides. I actually just got chills while I was kind of looking at what both sides are doing. I love a game like this. I know, like, obviously the games that kind of do best overall for you guys and what you seem to like the most are like these crazy, chaotic, insane strategy games. But I see a game like this, and it's like, oh, damn, they're both doing exactly what they should do. I love this. Because this is where you're actually going to end up learning a lot. Like, for me personally, as like a player that tries to play strong standard games and increase my base skill level, right? Like, a game like this is exactly what I want to see, because they're both nailing it right now. Now, Leta has added the 6th factory. I'm not like a huge fan of this, but I don't think it's like necessarily bad. If he goes for an attack here, I think that's going to be difficult to pull off. So we have the Reaver over here, not getting shuttle speed or anything, instead getting very fast Zealot legs. Dude, this is a dialed-in Bisu. How many times do I talk about getting your Zealot legs in a timely manner? And he's getting them basically perfectly. He's up at 6, 7, 8 gates plus Reaver. This is Like, really, really, really good play from Bisu. And again, I can't really fault. It's more of a stylistic choice here. I can't fault how Leta's playing. And in fact, because of the amount of gateways that Bisu has made, it might make sense for him to just turtle with these overall. Now, Bisu actually is just going to walk in with slow Zealots. Zealot legs are not done, but he sees a bust timing and he actually goes for it. A lot of these units in the wrong position up here. This was some killer instinct. This was some insane killer instinct. If this ends up working, damn, does Bisu look like a genius. But he's getting flanked a little bit here because Leta has those units on high ground, and then these tanks go up on high ground. Can he get the Reaver on top of these tanks? It looks like he can. Oh, yeah, beautiful drop out there. I love that. The flank of the Zealots kind of holding the tanks in place there as well. The shuttle very, very low, but he's going to land it next to this tank, perhaps? No? Still just kind of microing it out. And most of his units are ending up dying. These other units from Leta coming down from that potential third base location. Bisu keeping the heavy, heavy pressure on. And by the way, during this time, Bisu has started a fourth Nexus. This was pretty darn good from Bisu. I cannot say otherwise. And actually, whatever ends up happening in this game, I think we'll go back and look at that moment because, like, legs were almost done. So you'd think it's an anti-timing, but I think he actually nailed it because of the pylon up there. He, like, just had that extra vision and recognized that he had an opportunity to trade really well, even though his Zealots were still slow. Kind of insane to see this type of awesome decision-making. Now, +2 is on the way, right? That is +2. He knows about this third base from Leta. The thing is, Leta's on 6 factories. So, like, yeah, he took some damage there, but he's actually on 65 workers against 59, which is really, really fine. Really solid. Bisu has a 4th base, so that's, like, annoying, but his third just finished. This is still very playable, I think, for Leta. Like, definitely the tempo advantage goes to Bisu. He's going to have a pretty darn strong army pretty quickly. Look at this. He's already getting Kadarian Amulet here for the High Templars. He's got multiple shuttles with the shuttle speed about to finish. You know what? Actually, the turrets are still pretty good here for Leta as well. He just kind of needs to nail his production, maybe throw up a few more turrets, throw some mines out in the front, that type of thing. Because Bisu, again, he has the tempo advantage. And see, we don't have this area actually defended. If he had a bunch of mines here and these tanks sieged, this attack would not be looking like this right now. And in fact, gets a strong size storm off. This is bad. This is really, really bad for him right now. And in fact, the storm drop into the natural. Holy crap. Lots of damage there. Okay, we're actually getting to the point of no return for Leta. This no longer looks like a recoverable game to me. His supply has plummeted to below 100. Bisu's up here sitting pretty at 140, storming all the SCVs. He even has a storm here. Would love to see that on those SCVs. Not maybe down there would have been better, but whatever. More storms on these SCVs. Yeah, this game's super over. Wow. This was nothing short of superb play from Bisu. And, you know, Leta, historically, this has been his weak matchup. Although he has improved over the last few years in it for sure. And I think he opened pretty solidly. I think he was playing a pretty good game. And I think every Terran has losses that look like this from time to time. We're like, oh yeah, I didn't lay my spider mines? But actually, I think it really comes down to the very decisive move from Bisu. You really have to be careful about losing any early units as Terran, because when Protoss gets in this good tempo position, it gets really, really difficult. Looks like we had a little counterattack of vultures up here. But yeah, Bisu holds on just fine. 37 SCVs. Man, it just, there's nothing left here. In fact, he lost his armory. Bisu can do whatever he wants from here, I think, and just clear this out. Looks like he's getting ready for, you know, another Nexus here, 5th base. There are some mines this time, but it's too little too late. Very impressive, man. Seriously. They very, very dead Leta at this point. Like, he's trying to hold on. GG. Not going to end up working out. So let's go back to that bust. It's a little bit later than this. Okay. So he has the observer kind of watching. He sees what's going on. This is a 6 fact. Remember, he got into his legs really quickly. Like, this was, like, perfect timing. I think Bisu really made so many decisions correctly here. Really good execution overall. Now, we're getting up to the moment I want to look at. Okay, so he clears this, okay? So now Bisu's vision is reduced. We're going to turn off Leta's vision, okay? So the observer just died. That vision's about to go away. And here's, look at this. Legs are not done yet. But he has the vision here, and he has the observer come over, okay? And look at this. The observer sees 4 tanks, and then he sees these units going up to kill the pylon. So, like, even though Zealot legs are super close to done, don't pay attention up here. When you're moving around at different speeds in the replay, the production tab gets screwed up. But this is how close it is, right? So this is very, very close. But he actually recognizes that it's like, oh, you have like no mines here. You don't have a missile turret here. And a bunch of your units went up. The funny thing is, if he had just left all these units over here, Bisu probably doesn't attack. He probably just says, okay, you know, we'll get Zealot legs, continue to produce, make a 4th nexus. So this was the losing moment for Leta and the winning moment for Bisu, I think. Even though like Leta ends up holding this attack and it's still like playable, this is where stuff got really out of control. And normally, you know, this is not like, normally you don't attack like 7 seconds before Zealot legs are done, but 100% the right choice here. Really well done. Bisu very, very on top of it this game. Guys, I'm excited about Bisu. I know I have been for a while, but we saw it in ASL Season 20, and I honestly think we're going to see it in ASL Season 21. He looks fantastic. And looking at the game from Leta, this was not a bad game. Yes, he made this mistake. Yes, he didn't have mines for the second attack, but it was already kind of a tough game at that point, but playable. But overall looked solid, that's what's normally missing from Leta's play. Okay? Like, you have to also look at, it's like, yeah, he lost in this way that, like, you know, you probably shouldn't lose in this way, but the fact that you see the solidity of his macro overall and the carefulitude of his play, that's what you want to see from Leta, because that's where he's normally weak. So, well done by Leta. I enjoyed the game. Hope you guys did too. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.